Midland, Texas, March 17th, 2017, St. Patrick's Day. I want to show you some Google Earth pictures, some map pictures, and maybe we can find where this tunnel was put in here that I believe was used for the racketeering and for the crime and part of the justification for the corrupt police and how they helped murder the last homeowner and then tried to murder me and then cover that up and I don't know what I'm going to do at this point because I got some bad news about my dad, and I don't know if I take the roof off my house. I can do that. I can take it off. I've tried to stay away from vigilante justice. I tried not to take the law in my own hands. I just hope that here, let me give you the information. Here's the crimes, and try to explain it to them that they can get it in their head that yeah, this is a crime, and yeah, they've got to make arrests. They got to do something about this, and that's what I tried to do. But I've got to do something and get a backhoe, dig it up. But what I can't do is I can't arrest them criminals that disabled my cameras, sneaked into my house, and stole the evidence, and I can't even get my property back that they stole. Okay, and so I need law enforcement to get involved, and maybe this will help them. So let's look at some pictures here. Okay, let me turn the camera around. Alrighty, and just a little bit. This is a main map picture that I made a long time ago. Okay. And it was just a Google picture. This big building right here is Home Depot. Line of trees. There's a brick wall here. There's an alley here. Okay, here's a cul-de-sac over here that's Fair Green Court. And here's my cul-de-sac is Fair Circle. Okay, and my house is the one against the alley, and it's directly behind this Home Depot store. As you can see, this Midland Drive, this is the perfect place to smuggle because it's secluded. You can't see back there. You have to drive in here from Midland behind Target. This is Target, and then it curves back in there to go back here and then curves back out. Now, I used to see 24/7 trucker traffic coming even when the store wasn't open. They'd stay a little bit and leave, highly suspicious. In the afternoons, I see them lined up, and then if I drive around the front of the store, nobody's unloading freight, And so I had two people there at the store tell me about prostitution going on behind their store, and then I seen a little girl at the sleeper cab. A lot of that has stopped, and one of these trees was taken out where I suspected the tunnel of that, and we're going to look at that here in a minute. Here's a manhole picture that's on the other side of that wall. I think there's two side-by-side manholes. We'll see another picture. And there's a piece of a man-sized tunnel pipe that's sitting in this neighbor's yard right here, about 15 foot from our property. It's just a cut-off section. And I wonder if this pipe wasn't put in that went over here to this manhole, provided access to this secluded trucking lane for drugs smuggling, for smuggling of humans, for sex trafficking, etc. And so that's a 50,000 foot view. Another thing, big parking lot. I was told a couple weeks before I shot, a person comes by my house and they say, you don't know how many lives you ruined with your idiocy. Talking about me being shot. Well, my idiocy, I was staying home by myself, minding my own business. That's my idiocy. I was staying home, being a good citizen, But what they really said was that there was a lot of people, they're going to have their lives ruined due to the course of the investigation and the capital murder attempt on my life. And so how is that possible? Well, they're in this underground facility. And then you go, what underground facility? Well, it's the one that a half dozen people have told me about. One lady said it's a half block from my home. Okay. And two people have said it was $1 million. Okay. And so obviously a lot of people were present during this murder, which makes a lot of witnesses or accessories, one or the other. They're either witnesses or accessories on the night, and they were doing something that was going to run their life. So, I don't know what that is. I don't know if they were having sex with little kids or if they're running drugs. But law enforcement needs to figure that out. But that was a big clue that I got. So where would they park? Maybe over there in that parking lot. Because, see, I'm at Home Depot, and I'm telling this clerk, like I tell everybody what happened, and she tells me, she said, if you ever see a lot of cars out in the parking lot late at night, it's because we're stalking. Well, I had never seen that. I can't see on the other side of the store, and I never thought about it. And then I wondered, why did she tell me that? And then I got to thinking, what if that's what was happening? What if these people that go into the underground facility, they were coming inside that store at night, and then the general, probably employees might not even know it's under that store. Maybe even certain management doesn't even know that there's underground, access that was in the Home Depot. And I had a guy actually write me recently, private message, and he said he had a friend of his, a girl that worked at Home Depot, and he asked her about the basement under Home Depot. And she wrote back and she said, she said, how do you know about that? You shouldn't be talking about that. It's dangerous to talk about that. And so he wrote and told me this story, And so that was kind of more confirmation that possibly that's what was going on the night I shot, January 28, 2012. A lot of people were here, and then for whatever reason, they decided to shoot me inside my home above them, And so that's a whole different conversation, but let me turn this back, okay, so we can see this, and let's get another picture. My attorney set up a meeting with some ladies around town, and that were wanted to assist me. And one thing that they mentioned was a leaning tree, okay? And the suggestion was that maybe the footing wasn't good, as in there was a tunnel, underground entrance, whatever, and that's why the tree was leaning. And you can see this tree's leaning. And what we're going to see later is it's right next to the side-by-side manholes on the other side of that wall, okay? And it's now gone. After 2014, somebody come in there and took that tree out. A live tree's gone. And we'll see that here in a minute. There's also some weird buried cinder blocks that are up here that I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show everybody that too. And then we'll see on another map picture where it looks like a ditch was cut going from these cinder blocks over there where the manholes were. That's what it looks like to me. And so I was going to show you that picture of the leaning tree. Here's another interesting thing. This telephone pole, and you've seen it back there, this is when the tree was still there. It wasn't taken out. And this was on 9/22/14. So we know. And so one thing I had done is I had noticed that there was a Suddenlink coax cable, a television cable. Okay, it's still there actually. A Suddenlink coax television cable was coming down that wall, or down that telephone pole behind my home, and it goes in the ground. Well, all the feeds for the television, cable internet, for the Grande or Suddenlink, they come above the house. To my house, it comes above the house. To the next door neighbor, it goes above the house. All the houses here, that neighbor over there goes above the house, okay? And so, but that one goes in, it's buried. And so then I contacted Suddenlink, and I had them come out here, and because I want to know where it's going, because that's right in the area where the tree's taken out, right where we suspect the tunnel is, where the side-by-side manholes are, and the tech out there, that goes to Home Depot over there, and so I contact Home Depot's management. I go about 2-3 levels of management, and including their IT group, and they guarantee me that no, we don't have Suddenlink TV coming into our business. We got our own private network, which I used to be an IT guy for a big company, and we didn't run cable TV off to our company either. We had our own network, and so I could relate to that. So all that time, here's a coax cable that goes into the ground. Nobody knows where it goes, right? And I'm wondering if it goes to underground facility, right? So on 9/22/14, these Suddenlink trucks show up. Okay, 9/22/14. I'll take a picture of it. And he told me they got a disconnect notice. So somebody was paying for it, and somebody paid to have it disconnected. And so if you're a legitimate law enforcement officer, one that's not trying to cover up murders, maiming, and mutilation, and thousands of home invasions and burglaries, a good cop, then you might want to go see who called in that disconnect and where that goes. Because Home Depot says it's not theirs, and they don't go to these houses. And that might be a clue for you. Here's another picture of it right there. It's still back there, and I bet there's paperwork on that one. Okay. These are dated Google Maps, okay? And what I want to show you here, one thing here in the west neighbor's house, or east neighbor's, this is the east neighbor's house, there was some kind of deal in the backyard. I'm gonna blow that up. Okay, let's blow it up over here. Okay, That's not a hot tub. That thing didn't set up above ground. It was something covering the ground, about 6 inches tall. And what I know from the Google Earth maps is that it wasn't there in 2008, March 2008, and it was put in there between these two dates, before December 2009. And of course, I moved in here October 2008, and that's when Mike Lawhon died as well. Okay, and so we know when it got put in, and there might be a logical explanation for what it is. I don't know. Maybe it's a tunnel entrance. Okay, and we're going to see it again as it was here on a dated map in September 2014. Here it is right here. And then it was taken out finally after all them years, okay, in 2016. And you know, but it was also taken out at the same time that tree was taken out next to them side-by-side manholes, okay, remember? And I spoke about that, that I wondered if that was the tunnel access. And even look, there's an 18-wheeler over there. And I suspected maybe even from these concrete bricks that are right here, tunnel went over there to one of them manholes, and that way a person that was in my attic went down, went under the tunnel, went over here. They did their sex trafficking or whatever, and then they could return, because trucks would show up, burglar alarms would go off in my attic. I would hear people moving around, and it seemed like lot lizards at a truck stop. It was 24/7 type of business. Okay, dated maps and Google Earth. You can go look 3802 Fair Circle. Go look for them yourself. Okay. Let's go look at the other side of the wall. Okay, here's that same telephone pole. It's got the coax, the Suddenlink coax on it. And what I did was go in here and I put letters on these support columns, and that way I know exactly where I'm at, you know, and I can go, well, A is next to that tree or whatever. And then so right here is the west manhole, and about 6 foot over is the east manhole. And that's kind of strange anyway, you know, that you got two manholes. And I wondered if one of them, it's probably been covered up. Once this tree was taken out right here, okay, a live tree was taken out, then, and that was probably because I'm on Facebook posting going, there's a tunnel here and somebody tried to murder me and they shot me from the ground. And so whoever come and took this tree out might know about the crimes that happened here and might even be involved, you know, and that actually be my guess. And so missing tree, you can see it's real easy to see because there's a whole line of trees, and all of a sudden now there's one missing, and it's right behind my home. Okay, this picture here, I took this picture in 2012 right after I shot. And I believe I had a private investigator with me at the time. I was showing him that lid was off for a couple of years. So the one closest to the tree, I would be guessing it might be the one that was connected to that tunnel pipe that went over, connected under my house. Okay, that's a guess, but it's probably not there anymore, because once that tree was over, they did the cover up, you know, and we have that massive public corruption problem around here, you know, where. Okay, and then one day I looked over, and there's this huge piece of man-sized tunnel pipe sitting 10 foot from my property on the other side, on the other neighbor's yard. Okay, and you could drive by Fair Circle, and it's stacked up over here a little further back, but it's still there, you know. I mean, it's still there. And I asked the woman here that lives here, I said, where'd that come from? She said, I don't know, it just showed up, you know, before I moved in. It just showed up one day. Of course, she was married to a guy at the time. And he's no longer alive, and so that trail explaining where that come from or why is not there. Okay, these are more pictures of the thing. That's all I can call it. It's the thing. Okay, and here it shows you the tree is still present. Okay, and the thing is in the yard, and then here, okay, the thing is gone. You can see where it covered the ground. Okay, and because you know, there's no grass on it right there. And if you notice, there's some big boards that are leaned up against this building here, so you couldn't see it from my yard. I never even, until I did looking at satellite, and then I'm actually going around. You know, I'm shot from the ground. I'm shot over here on this side of my house, and the evidence is clear about that. I wasn't shot with my own gun. I'm shot, you know, 2 weeks after reporting a suspected tunnel to the DEA, and who didn't look right, and this tunnel. And not a tunnel to Mexico, a tunnel over there to that trucking lane where I'm seeing all that traffic, you know. And so I'll show you that now. Thing removed. Let's go here. which we already looked at that one. Let's go here. Okay, this is the oldest map I got, okay, that I found online, okay, and the bricks are still there. This is before I moved in here. That thing is not even there anymore in the backyard. Here's the word center blocks. We're going to go out there and look at it in a minute, okay, and this looks like a ditch was cut right here, okay, and so what I'm trying to do is trying to figure out where in my backyard is that ditch, okay, and because I might dig that up, you know, I don't know, and it looks like if I project it out, it goes to them center blocks. That's what it looks like to me. And if I project it out here, it looks like it goes to where that one manhole is that I pointed out a minute ago, okay? And also interesting, right here is where I heard that digging noise I recorded. I got a video on that. That's my little shed building at the back corner right there, right here, there. And then also on the center block, if you pull that straight line out, that went to where that little deal was right here, you know. That's not there no more. So, like I said, this was removed around the same time the tree was removed. But here, we're going to go back there and we're going to see. That black dot was something sitting there at the time. I wonder what that is. So, anyway, we'll go look at the concrete blocks. We'll look at the missing tree. And if I go straight over, here's a tree, okay? Here's the corner of my house, right? And there's a tree there, tree here, okay, and the next tree is the one that's gone. So let's try it. And it looks like it's about in the middle is where it looks like it's at if I ever want to dig it up. So I'm going to grab the camera and let's go outside. Let's see what it looks like. All right, I'm going to roll that around. There we go. All right. Now, you should be able to see these trees here, and you're going to see where that missing tree is. And we'll look here. Here's the corner of the house, as I was talking about there a minute ago, right on the map picture, because I got a picture of that. Okay, so there's let's get over here. There's that corner where the building is, and then we'll come over here, there, and we'll look right about in the middle. And where that looks like is where that weird gate was put in, okay? See that gate? And notice that depression. That's, you know, that's what I said before. That's where the normal level of the ground. So let's go over here. And when I line that up, because I've been out here already, I'm thinking this is where that one end of the ditch was. Probably right in the center, because that makes sense, doesn't it? Right in the center. And if I turned it over, then right there at that corner, over there is where them cinder blocks are, okay? So we're going to go look at there, and I'll walk it straight over here. Maybe right here, underneath there, we find some of that tunnel pipe, right? That black tunnel pipe. And I'm just going to pick this up and show you. Go over the fence. There it is. Can you see it? You see that? Okay, let me go back here a little bit. You see that cinder block right there? And so, anyways, maybe that's where I dig. I don't know. And so, this Buddy Webb, y'all have a good St. Patrick's Day. Bye.